Good evening. I want to tell you a story. And this is a story about us, about life, about the ocean. But this story for me started in 2014, and I want to take you with me to the open ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. As a sailor, my dream was to cross this Atlantic Ocean on a sailboat, and finally I had the privilege to do so. This boat is the World of Art, and it's 10 meters long, 3 meters wide, approximately 20 square meters of living with me and 3 other crew members. And this photo is taken really in the middle of the ocean. We were already sailing for 1,000 miles, 11 days. Still 11 days more to go to see the first island again, Barbados. And on this moment, I was watching in front of the mast to the ocean, and I saw a plastic bottle floating. And this was such surrealistic feeling to see something we man-made, can buy in a shop almost practically everywhere, to have a drink. But it was not in the shop or in the trash bin, it was there in the ocean. It took us 11 days to come there. And I had a lot of time to think about that, 11 days before I saw internet again, and I could look some stuff up about it. And I discovered plastic existed for 60 years. Only 60 years. And in those 60 years, the production of plastic is increased 20 times. Until in 2014, we produced 311 million tons of plastic for one single year. And now 4 years later, because it increased with 8%, we already made 411 million tons. It's really big numbers, really hard to get your head by how much it actually is. But if you, and from all of the plastic we made, 86 of 100 million tons plastic, 86 million in 2014, is entered the ocean. And how does it enter? And because of this, I went traveling further, because I'm a sailor, I come to a lot of places, and it didn't matter where I came. If I was in Europe, or Asia, Central America, South America, all these beaches were filled with trash. And I began to learn more about it, and plastic, the funny thing of plastic is if we make plastic, it will stay there. It will stay there forever. It only gets fragmented in every more tinier pieces. First we got microplastic, but even then it still fragments until nanoplastics, like smaller than a micrometer. You can't see it with the bare eyes, so small. It can also it can go into your cells by just coming on your skin. And so we're becoming plastic more and more. And I already thought 8 million tons of plastics are entering our oceans every year. It's such a big amount. How can you visualize that? So I broke it down to 2 garbage trucks, you know, of getting your garbage every day or every week from your house. And 2 of them every minute are entering our oceans. That's 120 of them every hour. That's 2,880 garbage trucks every year. That's massive. And how does it come into the ocean? 80% of everything is coming into the oceans comes by rivers. So cities and industry next to rivers, doesn't matter if the city is like 1,000 miles away from the nearest ocean or sea, it will get there. And what I also discovered, plastic will sink. So all the plastic was in the ocean, is also, some of it's still on the surface, but the rest is sunk down. So it's somewhere in the water column. So we kind of lost track of the plastic. As it's from the surface, relatively easy to get it out. So cleaning up is one thing, but we should turn off the tap, reduce plastic. Because if you look what kind of plastic we find, 70%, more than 70%, are single-use items. Things we use one time and throw it away. But what is away? Because plastic doesn't disappear. If you put it on fire, but that helps climate change. So that's not the solution. So we have to reduce the amount of plastic we're making in this world. Because wildlife will die from it. Birds, turtles, fish get trapped in plastic, but also they eat it. They found in Norway a whale with 30 plastic bags in his stomach. We also found tires, whole car bumpers, in the whale. As I'm a sailor and my passion is for the ocean, I want to bring people with me on a sailing boat. But experts, people want to know more about it. So 2.5 years, I decided to learn more about plastic, but not alone, but with each other. Because we can make decisions for ourselves to reduce plastic in our own lives, but we have to do it all together to make an impact. And we're still in the phase of awareness, so we need to tell and learn and tell this story to each other and make actions within our own lives. And if we all do that, companies also will change. And politicians can help us change, like putting a small amount of money on a plastic bag. The reduction of producing plastic bags in Holland dropped 80% of it, because we pay 5 cents for a plastic bag. Just because of thinking about this. So we organize a lot of sailing expeditions. We are 2.5 years further now, with 15 volunteers. Next to that, we also believe in really doing something. And if we found out solutions, we really directly can do something with it. So this is the island Silba. And on the island Silba, we, with some other organizations and the local government, with the local community, are researching on challenges, also on waste management, plastic, but also a bit broader than that, renewable energy, circular economy, ecotourism. And we are making a blueprint of how a circular island economy and island life can be. And while we are doing that, we're building now on a website where we use an open source, so other islands can learn from us and can learn with us. So this is about Silba, the project Silba, and Silba is a shortness for sustainability increases life benefits for all. So that's what I dedicated my life for now to tell this story. A tool to telling a story I found out in these 2.5 years is film. So I work with a lot of filmmakers to tell those stories. And the latest film we are making is a film about the World Ocean Summit in Mexico, a summit where we speak on a bit of higher about ocean conservation, but we want to bring it back to you. I got a short 2-minute movie about it. I really want to show it. It's the first group I'm going to show it to. So, yeah, please enjoy.
We all understand climate change and the need for climate action. Now we need to understand ocean change and the need for ocean action. It's not something that an individual, a responsible individual, should shirk. Every second breath you take comes from the life within the ocean.
And we cannot be in a state of denial. Skepticism is the essence of all science. Denial is not.
In the time that I've been around, I've seen the ocean decline. I mean, seriously decline. Changing the temperature, changing the chemistry of the ocean, depleting the wildlife, the collapse of whales. We generally stopped killing whales and they've started to recover. We haven't stopped killing tuna and they're not. They're going like this.
We need to act immediately against the fishing institution in Mexico that is Conapesca, because they've been doing it pretty bad since the 1950s until nowadays. Jacques Cousteau named it the aquarium of the world in the late 80s, and if we don't do something extremely accurate, it will turn into a cemetery, marine cemetery.
Start today. Skip the straw. Say no to single-use plastic. Every action counts. There isn't a small action. The small action contribute to something bigger. Do something. Anything will help at this point.
Do you have children? Do you care about the world that your children are going to grow up in? Obviously, as an owner of a big corporation, your children will be okay, but don't you want to make them proud and have them know that you've made a difference in the world and not just increased your own worth?
So, what I want to give to you tonight, when you go home, please look around you, because even here in Holland you will find a lot of plastic when you walk back to your home. And if you open your eyes and we all start to see, and we all will tell each other this story and act ourselves, together we will turn the tide. By the ocean we unite.